Good morning, all. I am Sneha Sharma of BCom General, here to review a book named The Old Man and the Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway. About the author. Ernest Miller Hemingway was an American novelist, short story writer, journalist, and sportsman. He was born on 21st July 1899 in United States. His economical and understated style, which he termed the iceberg theory, has a strong influence on 20th century fiction, which his adventurous life and his public image brought him admiration from later generations. About the story. The Old Man and the Sea is a novel written by American author Ernest Hemingway in 1951 in Cayo Blanco and published in 1952. It was last major work of fiction written by Hemingway that was published during his lifetime. One of his most famous work is the story of Santiago, an aging Cuba fisherman who struggles with a giant marlin far out in the Gulf Stream off the coast of Cuba. The Old Man and the Sea is the story of an epic struggle between an old, seasoned fisherman and the greatest catch of his life. For 84 days, Santiago, an aged Cuban fisherman, has set out to sea and returned empty handed. So conspicuously unlucky he is that the parents of his young, devoted apprentice and friend Manolin have forced the boy to leave the old man in order to fish in a more prosperous port. Nevertheless, the boy continues to care for the old man upon his return each night. He helps the man tote his gear to ramshackle hut, but secures food for him and discusses the latest developments in American baseball, especially the trials of the old man's hero, Gio DiMaggio. Santiago is confident that his unproductive streak will soon come to an end, and he resolves to sail out further than usual the following day. On the 85th day of his unlucky streak, Santiago does as promised, sailing his skiff far beyond the island's shallow coastal water and venturing into the Gulf Stream. He prepares his line and drops them. At noon, a big fish, which he knows is a marlin, takes the bale that Santiago has placed 100 fathoms deep in the water. The old man expertly hooks the fish, but he cannot pull it in. Instead, the fish begins to pull the boat. Unable to tie the line fast to the boat for fear the fish would snap a taut line, the old man bears the strain of the line with his shoulders, back and hands ready to give slack should the marlin makes a run. The fish pulls the boat all through a day, through the night, another day, through another night. It swims steadily northwest until at last it tires and swims east with the current. The entire time, Santiago endures constant pain from the fish line whenever the fish lung sleeps or makes a dash. In freedom, the coats cut Santiago badly. Although wounded and weary, the old man feels a deep empathy and admiration for Merlin, his brother in suffering, strength, and resolve. On the third day, the fish tires and Santiago, sleep deprived, aching, and nearly delirious, manages to pull the marlin in close enough to kill it with a harpoon thrust. Dead beside the skiff, the marlin is the largest Santiago that has ever seen. He lashes it to his boat, raises the small mast, and sets sail for home. While Santiago is excited by the price that the marlin will bring at the market, he is more concerned that the people who will eat the fish was unworthy of its greatness. As Santiago sails on the fish, the marlin's breath leaves a trail in the water and attracts sharks. The first to attack it, a great mako shark, which Santiago manages to slay with a harpoon. In the struggle, the old man loses the harpoon and lengths of valuable rope, which leaves him vulnerable to other shark attacks. The old man fights off the successive vicious predators as best he can, stabbing at them with the crude spear he makes by lashing a knife to an oar, and even clubbing them with the boat's tiller. Although he kills several sharks, more and more appear, and by the time night falls, Santiago's continued fight against the scavengers is useless. They devour the Malin's precious meat, leaving only skeleton, head, and tail. Santiago chastised himself for going out too far and for sacrificing his great and worthy opponent. He arrives home before daybreak, stumbles back to his shack, and sleeps very deeply. The next morning, a crowd of amazed fishermen gathers around the skeleton carcass of the fish, which is still lashed to the boat. Knowing nothing of the old man's struggle, tourists at a night cafe observe the remain of the giant marlin and mistake it for a shark. Manolin, who has worried sick over the old man's absence, is moved to tears when he finds Santiago safe in his bed. He took fetches the old man some coffee and the daily papers with the baseball scores and watches him sleep. When the old man wakes, the two agree to fish as partners once more. The old man returns to sleep and dreams his usual dream of lions at play on the beaches of Africa. Moral of the story: the moral of the story is that the journey through life is the reward. A person who lives with courage and integrity can destroy but never defeat it. A strong person can complain about what he doesn't have, but instead uses what is at the hand and the knowledge that is has it wants. Thank you.